Hi everyone, Chief Meteorologist Melissa Frey here in the Weather Center at Alaska's news source. It is a big weather day. We have a lot of impacts going on. We've been tracking this storm all week and it is here, and we're already starting to see those impacts, especially in Juneau and across southeast tonight. And then we also have another round of heavy snow on the way for south central, some snow pushing north into the interior as well. So I'm going to do my best to break down all of those impacts for you. If you happen to be watching our newscast today live on channel 2-5 or on our streaming apps, you know that I only get about 4 minutes to cover the entire state. And when we have big impacts like we have today, that is not enough time to give you much detail. And it's always frustrating for me to finish that weathercast and just know I left so much on the table and just barely scratch that surface. So my goal here is to again get into some more of that detail for you. If you happen to be joining us here on Facebook, hop in the comments, let me know where are you watching from, what weather questions do you have. If there's anyone watching from southeast, I would really like to hear from you on what those conditions are like, especially in Juneau. We're just seeing a wide variety of impacts and some really dangerous conditions as well. So we're going to get right to that forecast. Again, it is a first alert weather day. Anytime you see that from us, that is really just simply our way to let you know, hey, heads up, there are significant weather impacts coming to Alaska. We have been talking about this all week, and again, today is the day. It is now here. So the most extreme and life-threatening risks are in southeast, and that is where we do have heavy rain moving in on top of that deep snowpack. Again, you may remember record-setting historic snow. We got about a season's worth of snow, December and the first week of January combined. Now we're seeing rain on top of that snowpack, and temperatures are warming well above freezing, so the snow is also rapidly melting. That creates concern both on the ground and for roads and getting around town, but also brings up that avalanche danger. So the risk of additional large avalanches is high at this point, and that is why the city and borough of Juneau put out evacuation notices this morning. So there are, again, evacuation areas in those avalanche prone areas where you should not be. If you are still in those areas, it is really important that you evacuate now. Again, it is not the time to do any sort of preparation for your home. It's just really important that you get to a safe area, and those avalanche zones are not safe right now because of how dangerous that snowpack is. So again, important that you stay out of those evacuation zones. I'll show you a map of that in just a moment. There are shelters open in Juneau. It's also really important that you stay off from flooded roads, and that is nearly impossible at this point in Juneau because pretty much everything is flooded. The water is high. So what's important is that you just stay in a safe spot. Hopefully, again, if your home is not in that avalanche zone, again, now is the time to, again, just stay put, stay in that safe area, again, until the risk starts to, again, improve. And most importantly, just stay alert because these conditions, they are changing rapidly. We are going to see new areas that are flooded, new areas that are at avalanche risk, and that's going to change as the weather changes through the weekend. So important that you're staying close attention to that. Hearing from Julie Coffin in Juneau saying rain and lots of wind throughout town and in the Mendenhall Valley, lots of flooded spots on the roads. And hearing from Caddy in Ketchikan, seeing high winds and raining sideways. Yeah, it is a mess across southeast. So again, looking at those impacts here across the region, we are seeing again the danger for that avalanche risk. There's been a lot of research done in Juneau in terms of where the snow is going to go if it starts to slide. And these areas that are highlighted here in red show you those areas that are no longer safe. Just zooming in a little closer here on downtown, all of those red areas are not safe, and you can see in some areas that even extends across the main roads and into some neighborhoods. So if you are in Juneau, you need to know this map. You need to know where those unsafe areas are so that you can stay away from them. Again, it's advised you don't even travel through that avalanche terrain right now because we never know when a slide is going to come down. We do have this information all available on our website, alaskasnewssource.com, if you do want to take a closer look at that map. Okay, here's a look at some video in Juneau. This is actually Mendenhall Mendenhall Valley. Heather Hensey sharing this with us, and you can see how much standing water is just in the neighborhood in the Mendenhall Valley, and most of this at this point from snowmelt before that rain really even started to pick up. There's the water and the snowmelt just has nowhere to go. Again, storm drains are covered in snow and ice, and so if those haven't been able to be cleared, again, there's just no place for this water to go. So again, a dangerous situation, and again, likely only to get worse because we do have heavy rain that is going to continue here through the night and into the weekend. Also pointing out, again, this is after the roof has been shoveled. There has been additional accumulation, but look how much ice is there under that snow. So we're seeing melting snow. We're seeing rain falling into that snow, which acts like a sponge and holds on to it, but then refreezes there at the bottom. That thick layer of ice, that is a dangerous situation just because you get ice dams in place. It's also much heavier, but you can see how much water is dripping off from that, an indication of just how warm it is in the area. Now, the storm reports that we've started to get in are widespread, and these are coming in fast. So again, this is evolving. If you do see impacts, you should let the National Weather Service know. You can also send us an email at weather@ktuu.com to let us know of those impacts. But in the Mendenhall Valley, we already had one resident reporting that water was coming into their home from that melting snowpack. Again, it has nowhere else to go. And then also in Juneau, we've had several reports of small avalanches off Mount Juneau and Mount Roberts. Fortunately, at this point, we do not have any reports of widespread large damaging avalanches, but again, that is the main risk for us. We have seen those large avalanches along the Haynes Highway, which is closed because it is impassable at this point. We are seeing actually multiple closures in that area just because of the heavy snow today. And then further south, the wind has been the main concern, as you heard here again in Ketchikan and Sitka, winds over 60 miles per hour. That peak gust out at the Sitka airport this afternoon, 76 miles per hour, and those are going to continue through the night into early tomorrow morning. This is a live look at current conditions right now along Egan Drive. Again, this is just south of downtown, and again, this is a live picture that we'll update here every few seconds, but you can see the raindrops in the water that is standing on the road. Again, this is a combination of snowmelt flooding into the road. This is a main road there moving into downtown Juneau, and then you can see the rain on top of it. So again, we have a saying that's turn around, don't drown. And the reason we have that saying is because it does not take much water to float a car and to move it into an unsafe area. So if you can help it, it's really important that you do not drive through flooded roads. You do not know how much water there is, and you don't know the condition of the road underneath that water. It's likely going to start to get torn up. So again, please use extra caution across Southeast. This is Juneau, but we are seeing scenes like this also down into Ketchikan and into Sitka as well because of that. Hearing a few of you chiming in from Fairbanks. Right now, I hear that Joyce is asking, why don't we get any weather for Fairbanks? Only Anchorage and Juneau. And the reason for that is, I'll just pop on here really quickly to let you know, when we are seeing extreme or life-threatening weather in Fairbanks, we will cover it to the same extent. So Alaska is a big state. We have a lot going on. And so in our newscast, again, we only have so much time. So when we have life-threatening impacts, that is the weather information that we have to present. When we had that big snow in December in Fairbanks, of course, we were covering it to that level. When temperatures were dropping to 40 below, we were covering it to that level. And I will let you know the Fairbanks forecast right here in just a few minutes as soon as I get through explaining these impacts again, what we're seeing across these other areas. So again, we just want to make sure that you have the most important information as conditions continue to evolve. Now, this is area of low pressure that is also going to bring in the snow to South Central this weekend. That area of low pressure actually tapping into moisture that extends all the way into Hawaii. So it is that warm surge of moisture that is both, again, just causing things to be very wet, but also causing those snow levels to rise with warmer air moving in. So that is where this is all coming from. Again, it is rain at this point for most of Southeast, and it is snow as you head into South Central. Look at how much these temperatures have warmed. We were seeing 50s earlier today in Sitka, 47 right now, but look at Juneau starting out the day in the 20s with heavy snow coming down this morning, 4 to 7 inches of snow by about 11 o'clock this morning, and now it is 42 degrees. That heavy rain moving through as as temperatures warm. Haines and Skagway just about 2 hours ago were sitting in the teens. Now you are into the mid-20s. So again, that is a sign of that warmer air coming in. Now on this map, when you see the precipitation, anytime you see those yellow colors, that is an indication of that heavier rainfall, which we are seeing again pushing through. That is transitioning to heavier snow still in Haines and Skagway and into those higher elevations. So again, this is why we have a long list of these advisories and warnings in place, is because of the impacts. Again, the most severe is the avalanche advisory. That is in place again because we have that threat of snow sliding off from the mountain right into downtown Juneau, and that is why we do have those evacuation advisories in place. We do still have winter storm warnings through tomorrow morning for Skagway and Haines. That's for an additional 9 to 15 inches of snow, but that's going to start to mix with some rain. We are also still seeing that flood watch in effect near Juneau through at least Saturday. I would not be surprised if that's extended through the weekend. It has already been extended for Ketchikan, Craig, as we will see heavy rain there. That's going to continue through Monday. And then we have that high wind warning through tomorrow morning for those wind gusts to 60 miles per hour for those of you in Ketchikan. So looking at those conditions again across Southeast, temperatures still below freezing in Haines and Skagway for a little bit longer, but warming to near 40 degrees for most of the region tomorrow. So again, it is warm. Everyone in Southeast below about 2,000 feet is going to see that transition to rain. And unfortunately, it's not going to stop anytime soon. This is an atmospheric river event. There are multiple storm systems wrapped up in that, and that is going to keep the rain going through the weekend and through much of next week. Temperatures eventually dip back into those mid-30s, but again, that's going to take about 7 days before that happens. So there is going to be a lot of melting and a lot of thawing that happens in the coming days. Okay, let's talk about South Central. I know there are some of you on here that have been so patient and concerned for our friends down in Southeast, but want to know what the forecast is in South Central. This area of low pressure is going to push north. It is going to bring that moisture with it. Where that moisture lands is still a bit of a question mark. So right now, I do expect heavy snow in Seward. I expect heavy snow in Whittier, Portage Valley, Valdez, Thompson Pass, Talkeetna, north into the Alaska Range. All of those areas, again, should be prepared for 1 to 2 feet of snow, if not more. That does include also places like Hatcher Pass. Now, in town, in Anchorage, the western side of the Kenai Peninsula, what you can see here is a hole in that snow. You can see where it's showing no snow from Homer north to Anchorage, particularly at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. That is because we will sit in a shadow behind the mountains. The mountains are going to block that precipitation, that moisture from reaching the ground and just cause it to evaporate before it gets here. So I do expect a band of snow overnight. You will likely wake up to snow tomorrow morning in Anchorage, but then we'll see a bit of a break. We'll still see that heavy snow ongoing in Valdez, in Whittier, and in Seward, also further north into the Alaska Range. But then as that area of low pressure pushes north, we will see a band of snow develop. Right now, that band of snow late Saturday is setting up across the Susitna Valley. Some models have this further west, so western Susitna Valley closer to the Alaska Range, places like Squintna. But some models, like this one, have it further east, which brings that snow right down the Parks Highway, right down the Glen Highway into Anchorage and through Turnagain Arm. So we are going to see some snow. The question is, how much snow will we see? Highest snowfall totals will be on the Anchorage hillside, and as you travel north and west, the western side of the Susitna Valley likely to see more than areas like Palmer and Butte. Now the Kenai Peninsula likely to see more on the east side than the west side, and that just has to do with where the mountains are and where it is blocking the snow for a longer period of time. Here we are 1 o'clock Sunday morning. So again, more than 12 hours later, and we're still seeing that snow coming down in the same place where that band is from Anchorage north there along the Parks Highway. That will begin to fizzle out as we head into mid-morning. So again, I just want to reiterate, should that band shift a little bit further to the west, Anchorage, we're not getting much snow, a couple inches. Kenai Peninsula, even less. If that band shifts to the east, we'll see significantly more. So I want you to be prepared for heavy snow starting again Saturday Saturday afternoon, a little bit before that, but we'll see heavy snow Saturday afternoon, overnight into Sunday morning. Everyone should be prepared for that, but some of you are not going to see the heavy snow. Again, it just really depends on where we see that band setting up. That will become more clear here in about the next 12 to 18 hours as that area of low pressure pushes further to the north. So we've talked about the first alert impacts in southeast, dangerous avalanche conditions, evacuations in place, major flooding risks through the night into tomorrow morning. We also have those impacts for Saturday in South Central where heavy snow will be likely. Some areas like Thompson Pass, Whittier, Seward seeing also high winds with this event and reduced visibility because of it. So looking at snowfall totals, okay, Fairbanks, if you're still watching, we are going to see some of this snow pushing north, but look at the contrast. We're talking less than 3 inches of snow for Fairbanks. Where you get south into South Central, we're talking 1 to 3 feet of snow in some places, and again that extreme rain as you head into southeast. Also for western Alaska, you can see a bunch of goose eggs there, little snow as you have travel further west. The main concern for you in western Alaska continues to be the dangerously cold, the wind chill, and those winds that are going to ramp up this weekend as well. So there's still weather impacts, just not as extreme. Okay, once we get through the day on Sunday, here's a look at the snowfall totals. Again, I just want to stress once again, this is one particular model showing you these impacts, and I think this is the model with the most extreme conditions right now. That could change, but you can see Anchorage, that is Ted Stevens specifically, that is a pinpoint on the map out near Kincaid. That is 9.7 inches of snow. That's a very specific number, pretty far in advance. I don't want you to focus so much on that number, just focus on the potential of what is coming. Now I want you to look at the colors on this map as well as the individual numbers. See those pink colors? Once you get into the Anchorage hillside, that's where we're seeing heavier snow. Girdwood, Portage Valley, Whittier, Turnagain Pass, all the way down into Seward. Again, we can see it's about 1.5 feet of snow. So again, that's where we're going to see likely heavy snowfall totals. Anchorage has the potential to see that snow. As you travel north into the valley, you see how those colors transition to that lighter blue, and you can see there for Palmer, it's showing 5 inches of snow, even less than what we're seeing in Anchorage. So again, this is going to be one of those scenarios which we've seen a dozen times before, where one side of town gets a lot and the other doesn't. North versus south, again, it's going to be very different depending on where you are. But again, after this area of low pressure pushes north and gets a little closer, we'll be able to better tell where those heavier snow bands are going to fall. But we do have, again, widespread weather alerts in effect across South Central. Winter storm warnings are in effect near Thompson Pass, and then also as you head down closer to Seward, again, those are where we're likely going to see that heavy snow, and it's going to be consistent from tonight all the way through Sunday. Winter weather advisories are in effect for Turnagain Pass, for Anchorage, for the valleys, especially the Susitna Valley, and then also for the Copper River Basin. Again, these areas likely to see snow. Some areas will see heavy snow, more than 1 foot. Some areas will see less, but again, be prepared for that potential. And then when you see the blizzard warning, those areas highlighted in red, that tells you where high wind will also be a major factor. We are seeing that in Kodiak tonight. Those are starting to taper off, but Thompson Pass, that will continue through noon on Saturday. Wind gusts to 50 miles per hour. That is going to make travel very difficult for you. Hearing from Jimmy in the Kuskokwim area, again, your main concern right now is the cold air. You will not see this storm moving into your area. Again, that is true for the western side of the state. Hello to you, Terry and Willow. Willow is one of the areas I do expect heavy snow. Caswell as well. You will see heavy snow there, Karen. So do be prepared for that. Again, starting overnight tonight, really ramping up once we get into Saturday afternoon. Here's a look at that Anchorage and South Central forecast for the next 7 days. One thing I want to point out here is the temperatures. We're going to warm up when the storm moves through, back to the mid-20s Saturday, but then it drops right back down into those single digits on Monday. Even below 0 overnight Sunday night and again Monday night, but it doesn't stay there. We do have additional storms moving through and more snow coming in, and temperatures will warm when that happens. So break, you get some opportunity to shovel on Monday, and then we'll be right back to additional snow as we head through the middle part of the week and temperatures getting back into the mid-20s. Okay, Fairbanks, you still hanging with me? Here is that forecast looking ahead to the next 7 days. What I want to point out, Fairbanks, the extreme temperatures are done. We're not seeing 40 below for the next week. Again, the coldest we get is 32 below Monday morning. We stay at about that level, but it does warm to around 20 below during the day, even above that 0 mark for the first time in quite some time once we get to the end of next week. So again, temperatures slightly improving. It's all relative. It's still very cold, but at least it's not as extreme as it's been. You will see snow showers Saturday into Sunday. I would be prepared for 2 to 5 inches in town. More as you head closer to the Alaska Range, places like Salcha, you're going to see more snow with this. And then also Tuesday, Wednesday, we have another round pushing through into Friday as well. So when you look at the entire 7-day forecast, even though there's no big major storms blowing through the interior, that will bring some significant accumulations throughout the week. So do have those shovels ready. You're going to need them, but at least you can get out and about and not have to worry about those temperatures being as cold as they have been. So again, that is a lot of information. And again, these conditions are going to evolve here as we head into the weekend. But of course, we're not going to leave you hanging. We will keep you up to date and what you need to know. I'm going to bring in here meteorologist Bailey Braun. And if you watch on Saturdays or Sundays, you know this face. She is here all weekend keeping you up to date, both on broadcast, Channel 2 and Channel 5, and also online. So we do want to just first of all talk about where people can get those updates. Say Saturday morning you want to check in, what's the situation in Juneau, where is the snow coming in? Saturday afternoon, what's the best place to get that on Saturday?
Well, definitely Alaska's News Source website. We actively have a live blog going on where we've been posting little updates through the day, and we're going to continue to post those updates pretty much through the entire weekend, since the storm system's going to last all the way through Sunday, with a lot of these impacts lasting through the weekend and even into next week. So with that, that's where you can find those live updates for Juneau specifically, and also for, into the interior. These impacts are also spanning there as well. So if you go to our website, this is that article, and you'll notice that we have timestamps, and so it will continue to be posted and updated. But earlier today, that's when we found out about this evacuation advisory and all the information that you need from the press release from the city and borough of Juneau. So early this morning, that's when we found that out. And there's also this link right here. If you click on CVJ map, that's where it will pop up that map that we showed earlier of the dangerous zones that are within the avalanche areas. So with that, that's where those updates are going to be. The latest update we had was around 4:40 or 5 in the afternoon. So again, we'll continue to update this with that information as you need, but we will also have that weather discussion for you as well. So that's where you'll get that information for these other regions like Western Alaska into the interior. That's where your more detailed forecast will be for those specific areas.
Okay, so yeah, a lot of information there. We have a whole team of folks here at Alaska's News Source working to gather that information. If you read that live blog and you go, how come they're not reporting on this particular scenario that you know of? Let us know about that. Again, email us news@ktuu.com, weather@ktuu.com. The entire weather team, the entire news team gets those emails, so that's a great way for you to get that information to us, again, through the week and through the weekend. The other thing that is super helpful is we only have eyes in so many places, and if you are seeing weather impacts where you are, if you can share your pictures and videos, that is super helpful to us. I'm going to pull that back up again here for us, our website, so that you can see show them, Bailey, where they can submit photos.
Yeah, so right at the top underneath our logo, all the way over to the right, it says submit photos and videos. So you're just going to click on that and it'll take you to this page where you can submit your photos, and then you go to add media, and that's where you will do that. Obviously, we have a lot of beautiful photos that we haven't really been able to feature lately because of all this significant weather, but we do see your photos, and if you send it in, if it's not used that weekend or that week, it will be used at some point, maybe for Jackie's Picture Alaska. But of course, it's always important to show us what's going on so that we can share that with other people across the state.
Yeah, and while we're here, I do want to show one other thing that people may not be familiar with. Two things. First of all, if you go to our weather page, you're going to get all of our latest weather discussions and information. You can watch our full weather video here, but I want to scroll down to this section. For those of you that are watching going, how come she did not cover my particular area? Again, it's a lot of information and it's a big state. So in here, you can type in your zip code, you can type in your city, and we do work to update this frequently throughout the day. So So you can go on here, you can get your hourly forecast, you can get your 3-day, your 10-day. The other thing is there is a map here with different information. You can zoom around to the state, you can go down and check on what this storm is doing. You can go up to Fairbanks or out to the western side of the state and see what the conditions are like in that area, and you can change the layers that are here to see what the conditions are like. Maybe you want to look at the latest wind speeds and what those numbers are doing, or the latest wind chill value and what those conditions are like for your area of the state. So again, this is a resource that is here, of course, 24/7, where you can really customize to get to your location. Then there's a couple other things I want to show you while we're here. 24/7 weather. This is another area that we update. You can get this if you have a smart TV. You can get this as a streaming app. Just go to Alaska's News Source streaming app, and you can actually watch this on your television if you would like. But all of our forecasts, all the work that we do to update these graphics is pushed to this 24/7 weather. That is available on our website and again on our streaming app. And then also, if you click on this live button here, that is where you can see our live streams. And you can see here we are. If you happen to be watching us on Facebook or YouTube this evening, you may not know this is available. So this is us live right now here, and you can also get the 24/7 live weather there as well. So those are some great options. And again, all of that is also available. If you have a smart TV, that is available for you. Again, you just go to alaskasnewssource.com, and that's a new thing. Streaming apps on TV. People go, yeah, I have your app, I have it on the phone, I understand, but on your television, just like you download Hulu or Netflix, you can download Alaska's News Source. If you have Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, all of that works as well. So that's a lot of information. You're probably sick of hearing us talk at this point, but just want to make sure you have all of those resources. Southeast, please stay safe. Please pay attention to those evacuations through the weekend. As roads are closed, definitely stay away from those areas. And again, if you can stay home, that's the best place for you this weekend, assuming you're not in one of those evacuated areas. So Bailey will be here all weekend. We're going to keep you updated again as these storms push through, and hopefully South Central gets some
On
pretty
Fiverr, you can
snow
find the perfect
in the
freelancer
Sierras,
for your
I think
AI
that's
project.
That's
Yeah.
the best part.
Have you been on the mountain
probably
yet?
already know
I
a
went up
guy
to
who knows
Hillside.
a guy who has a
Big snow.
cousin
Yeah.
who has a neighbor who can
Unfortunately,
do
it was
it.
all compact
We
and
also
Yeah.
shimmed it,
have
and then it was super
Flat.
sticky, but
Ooh.
A freelance
if
AI
you're in
developer with
Anchorage,
tons
go
of
out to the
reviews
slopes
like
on
this.
Saturday with
It's
all
gonna
We
be
also
good.
know
the
Olivia,
fresh powders. It's
Ryan,
time to go.
Jessica,
It's going to be
and
nice,
Mark,
yes.
who are
All right, well,
experts in
with that,
building
we will
AI
leave
apps,
you here
automations, chatbots,
and hope you
and
have a
full
good
stack
weekend.
development. Find freelancers in a variety of AI services and bring your idea to life today.